Hello and welcome everybody, and thank you guys for joining me once again. My name is Wilkie and I'm here with another C9 video, and you may ask yourself, what the hell is he doing in C9? Well, there has been another Blade Dancer rework that just recently launched in the Western version of C9, and as usual with this type of content, whenever I can, whenever I get a hold of these new things, then I will try to provide footage for that. Now, personally, I never played Blade Dancer for longer than an hour, so I have absolutely zero experience of how the class works, and I'm in no position to basically make a qualitatively good statement about the PvE changes in general, but what I can do is I'm going to be showcasing you the new skill books, or I guess the reworked skill books, that Blade Dancer has recently received. As far as we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to go and do a test for the Rat books and then the Raven books, and maybe I'll do a PvE run at the end. I'll see about that in a second. Alright, we're going to take a look at the first three skill books, which are the 5th continent skill books, which they are referred to in the patch notes, or the Rat skill books. For those, we have Silhouette Aerial, we have Triple Chassé, and we have Violent Bloom. So first of all, I'm gonna set a baseline. This is what the skills are looking like without any skill books. So basically you know what they look like. And that's Triple Chassé. For Violent Bloom, there's two versions. The first one I already used is if you're standing still, you see this red little circle animation. The other way to trigger that skill is when jumping, pressing shift and left click will trigger it without the starting animation. I'm not sure if the skill book will apply to both of these, it doesn't say anything, so we'll see about that. So let's go ahead and get some baseline damage testing. My damage is not that great, really, but it's just to see if these skill books change the scalings, and if they do, by how much. So Silhouette Aerial, we had like 3k on the first one, and 12k non-crit, or 21 crit on the upward slash. So this is really just a baseline test, I'm not diving too deep into it. So that's it, let's go for Triple Chassé then. We have around 15,000 non-crit to 25,000 crit. And let's go for Violent Bloom. Those are a lot of 16 to 17k's. I'm curious to see if the damage is going to be any different if I use it in mid-air. It shouldn't be. Why should it be? So let's take a look at that. Damage seems to be the same, around 16 to 17k non-crit. And for Triple Chassé, those are the baseline values. So let's equip these books. Let's take a quick read at the patch notes and see what they actually do. So let's take a look at these skills with the skill book. We're going to start off with a Silhouette Aerial. Change in effects, increased attack range, attack speed, changed AoE attack, changed to down attack, additional attack +2, combos into a heal turn, and hold left click for basic attack 5 hits combo. So we're just going to go ahead and see what this skill change does. This is really all that changed, not too much. And according to the patch notes, the damage has been increased. As far as Triple Chassé goes, we have changes in effects, increased charge distance, gain super armor while casting, damage increase, additional launch height attack, +2 invincible during additional hit, connects to a variety of other skills, cancel with another action skill during final motion, so you can cancel it now, can combo from a cancel Quixote's Wrath during the final motion, increased attack range, and even though the first hit fails, you can still combo into a second hit by holding left click, so that's really good. Because Triple Chassé without the book, if you don't hit anything, you're just gonna dash and fall down. So if I understood the book correctly, even though I do not hit anything, all I have to do is just hold left click. Okay, so that's the thing. The skill book will allow you to trigger the other attack motions even if you don't hit anything, so that's really cool. And as far as Violent Bloom goes, that's a totally reworked skill, so just gonna see what the skill does. Changes in effect, significant increase in casting distance, semi-super armor break, however useful that is in PvE, action speed increase, 1 day's additional hit, 3 additional attack motions, and invincible during attack action, so that's cool. We're just gonna use it on the ground first. So that's what it's going to be looking like. I'm curious to see if that actually is going to be applied if you use it out of mid-air as well. So let's just take a look. It does actually. Okay, so that's a cool. Like some skill books do not work if you use skills like that. So let's take a look at the damage numbers first. As I said, my gear is obviously still the same. We're gonna go for Silhouette Aerial first. The damage definitely increased. Usually we saw 22, 23,000, and there we had a 40,000, 41,000 damage crit, but only really on the up slashes. Like, only the final attacks from the up slash seem to have different scalings, and you deal additional hits, so that's that. So I'd say it's around a damage increase by roughly, how much was it increased from 25 to 40? Well, that's a solid 60 to 70% increase. Then again, I don't think that skill is very popular in PvE to begin with. So let's take a look at Triple Chassé, what that does. Okay, so there's also damage increase, and a lot of, or not a lot, but definitely more hits to be done. So there's that. Let's go for another baseline. Yep. So there's definitely an increase in damage on some of these hits and more hits in general. So far, none of these books seems to be super overwhelming though. And let's go for Violent Bloom, probably one of the most interesting skills now. Okay, that was a bit poorly aligned, I'm sorry for that. Didn't really see too much damage. I think there was a 17,000 K crit, so that's definitely a major increase in damage. Let's see. Oh yeah, so there are definitely bigger damage numbers by up to 3 times as much, so that's definitely a good buff in terms of Skillbook. As far as the effect goes, I think the iframe is the most significant good change about that book. Other than that, none of these Rat books are looking too fancy, but we still have the Raven ones to check out. So going over to the Raven skills, or the so-called 6th continent skill books, we do have Spinning Heart, which is another command skill. We have Black Rose. This one seems to be the biggest one in terms of changes, because it now, according to the patch note at least, it's now as strong as the Extreme books. So I'm really curious to see what that skill book does. We have Fear Slash, and we have Violet Cross. So Spinning Heart, I think that's probably a very straightforward skill. It's your little dash thing you shoot that you can either charge or just poke a little bit. Then we have Black Rose, which does not really seem that significant, so that's what I'm really curious to see about. Fear Slash has received a buff. As you can see, there's now an additional hit if you take one of the, I think it's a passive that you have to take. That is Fear Slash Cross. You just have to hold left click. So I'm just curious to see if the skill book actually does something without that. And as far as Violet Cross goes, also a very straightforward skill. So let's take a look. Let's take a baseline test. We're gonna do both Spinning Hearts, one with charge, with a full charge, and one without. So that's the one without. Of course it missed. How else could it be? That's obviously how you take a damage test. Okay, so we have 15,000, 17,000. As I said, really it's just to see if there is going to be any significant increase. And that's 22,000. So let's go for one more. Let's see if I can hit more than one enemy at the same time. That might be good. Yeah, so 37,000. Okay, crit. Let's pull these a bit together. Black Rose, 32,000 on the second hit, I think, and 17 and 20 on the first. Let's whack these guys once again. Yep, that seems to be accurate. So 20,000 on the first and around 30 on the second. Fear Slash. Oh, that's a pull on the last one. That's cool. That was like 10k. That was not too tremendously much. Let's go for one more. Yep. So the second hit does not deal as much damage. I think there's no scaling on it, sadly. There is no scaling, but that actually pulls mobs, and that's really, really cool for PvE. I'm not sure if that applies to PvE. Is it disabled? Oh yeah, it's not. Okay, never mind. It's not enabled in PvP, but it's very good for PvE in terms of pulling mobs. So let's go for Violet Cross. That skill has a relatively long cooldown, so I'm trying to see. 30,000 and above 40,000 crit. So let's take that as a baseline, and let's just jump right into the skillbook versions. So let's dive right into the skillbook versions of the Raven ones. As I said, the first one is Spinning Heart. Changes in effects, reduces key gathering time, so it's faster, increased projectile size, pierces enemies. Changes in effect, whatever that means. Invincible when using, that's really cool. Additional attack motion +2. projectile damage increases, and semi-super armor break. So, okay, that's what it's gonna be looking like. I'm not sure if you actually have to charge, or you can just let it go. Okay, so it does actually make a difference if you charge or not. Then we have Black Rose. As I said, this is probably the most interesting one. Changes in effects, gains super armor while casting, reduced delay at hit, increased attack range and distance, significant damage increase on the third hit, so that's interesting to see what significant means. Semi-super armor break, once again, shockwave damage +1, and hold left click for additional attack motion +5, invincible. So I assume you're going to be invincible at the end. We're just going to click it once, I'm not going to hold anything. So that's what it's going to be looking like if you don't hold left click. Pretty much the same, just with a purple shockwave around it. So let's take a look at what it's going to be looking like if I hold left click down. Okay, so those are the additional hits. Not a very long iframe, but curious about the damage in the end. Fear Slash, changes in effects, increase attack speed, super armor while casting, dazes enemies, additional attack motion +3, invincible on the final hit, left click to perform the additional final attack motion directly. Not entirely sure, especially with the new passive. Unsuccessful attack, burst of vigor activated. So we're just gonna press it without holding anything. Okay, so this is what it's gonna be looking like if I don't hold anything after activating it. Now we're gonna hold the left click. So basically, holding left click will, I guess, cancel some of these scratches or slashes and directly follow through with the final hit. And if I hold it, I will still use the passive afterwards. And as far as Violet Cross goes, changes in effect, significant increase in casting speed, super armor while casting, additional projectiles, you force, pull, increase force range and power, can't come with a quick flora, cancel with another action skill during the final motion, additional melee attack, so you can cancel it, and things like that. Just gonna see. That's very fast, why would you want to cancel that? So let's go and see what the damage numbers are gonna be like. We're gonna go for the uncharged version first. So that's definitely more damage than it used to be. The other one was like 15,000, that one was 30. So let's go for a charged version. Oh, the charged version definitely ramps up by almost, I'd say, double. So that's a really, really good increase. Then again, I'm not sure how useful that skill is in PvE. So let's take a look at Black Rose. Okay, maybe I should hit enemies that do not die instantly. Oh yep, I forgot my damage. Still the same, really. Nothing has changed so far. Okay, there was a 138,000 crit, so that's definitely a significant increase in damage. That's like about 5-ish times. We're gonna hold left click to see what the additional hits do like at the end. Okay, so the additional hits seem to be dealing another 20 to 25,000, so not that big, but there's definitely heavy damage increase on some of these hits. So let's go for Fear Slash. Let's pull them a bit together. I'm not gonna press anything. Okay, so damage on Fear Slash does not seem to be different other than the final hit. And we're gonna cancel it and do that. Okay, so Fear Slash does not seem to have major increases other than it just slashes repeatedly. And it has one hit that deals around 50% increased damage. So let's go for Violet Cross then. Okay, there's definitely been a damage increase on that one. And the activation speed is really, really, really heavy. Damage is around maybe double that 100k hit. I'm not sure where that one came from. So let's take a look at that again. Damn, that heavy cooldown. Right. Okay, so there's definitely a 150k crit in there. I'm not sure if it's the melee hit or not. But as you can see, some of these books do actually give Blade Dancers quite a huge buff. So this is all for the skill books that have changed there. As I said, I'll put the link to the patch notes into the descriptions. All of the skills that I have used for the skill book showcases are maxed. So this is not really a pro build that I recommend. I'm just letting you know that all of the skills that I used have been maxed to just elaborate how much damage I will be able to deal. Other than that, thank you guys for sticking around, and I'll add another PvE run in the end, or basically just now, so you can watch these skill books in action. Other than that, thank you guys for sticking around. If there's anything else you want to know or anything that's maybe confusing or I have missed to cover, feel free to let me know and I will hook you up with more information. So let's go into the final part where I'm gonna be trying to clear Shituran Forest logging area on Master, and I'm just gonna use most of the skills with the skill books. As far as the skill book choices, I took Spinning Heart, Black Rose, Fierce Lash, Violet Cross, Triple Chassé, and Violent Bloom with me. As I said, this is my stats or my gear. Let's just see how many times. I only have 5 resurrection scrolls. I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna be able to clear that dungeon or not. Ow. Well, that's a good start, is it not? So the level up might be a bit annoying here and there, but I'll try to keep it to a minimum. It's not really about me, I guess. That pull though is really, really cool. Damn, that combo counter just ranked up pretty hard. Maybe I should have taken some other skills than just the skillbook ones. I'm not so sure if I'm gonna be very efficient at clearing that. But we'll see, really. As I said, I have very little to no Blade Dancer experience. So far it's working good though. I'm surprised I'm actually clearing these mobs so easily, given that my gear is not very good. So we're gonna go for the instant activation out of midair. That's really good. That's really, really powerful. And Violet Cross. I guess I have to use that skill as well. Or I probably should be using it. Okay, so you're not invincible when casting, just after activation. So that skill's actually not bad. That Triple Chassé seems to be quite handy. Man, the purple flash on the Black Rose one looks really, really nice. And that pull. Oops. Damn, I have no clue how this class works, really. I know a few inputs of her, but not a lot. Not a lot at all. Okay. Did they all die? Yep, good. That Fierce Lash looks more powerful than it really is. Like, the damage is really not that great. Why did it not trigger? Shift to left click. Okay. That skill's really, really good. That damage increase is actually quite good on the Black Rose one. So if you have good gear, that skill can probably easily rake up to 500k to 1 million. But, ouchie. I do have a strength buff, it seems. Ouchie! Stop hitting me. That was a major frame drop there. I mean, the semi-super armor rake can be useful, I guess, against some of these mobs. Which aura did I actually pick up? I have so many aura buffs. Did they actually change something? There's actually getting Awakening level up full HP. Interesting. Alright, let's see. The boss is gonna be quite tedious, I think. I might actually die here and there at the boss. Man, that pull is so strong. That was a bit of an overkill, I guess. Okay. So let's see. I don't really like this. I really like the dungeon, I just don't really like the boss. Let's see if I can get a good aura. Aura speed. Oh well. Why not? I don't think I'm gonna be keeping it for very long though. So let's kill these guys first. Yeah, the damage is really, really good. Come on, ooh. Okay, that iframe is really good for that. Oh, that was massive damage. Oh, unfortunately I don't have a soul set, so I don't see his HP. That's kind of a bit sad. Uh-oh. I'm gonna be dead soon. Oh, he dashed out. Okay. I do not know how to combo this guy. Like, if you're... Ooh, that goes my first down. We're gonna use Fury. If you're good, like, when I did this with my Blade Master, you can stun lock this guy very easily and basically never let him move. So... But obviously, I'm far from a good Blade Dancer, so... yeah. I should probably use my Fury skill, or I'm gonna embarrass myself because I'm not gonna be able to clear the dungeon without using all of my Resurrection skills. I only have 3 left. Ooh, did they increase the speed? Oh, I missed some of the shots. Uh-oh, that jump distance is definitely a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Uh-oh. There's semi-super armor rake on it, right? Yeah. That's a pretty good amount of damage if you think about it. Like, my gear is not that great, and I'm doing 2000k crits. Sure, with Fury on, but still. Why the hell did I jump backwards? Oh, he's that. Did they actually change something in the difficulty? I don't know. Well, only 2 deaths. Could have been worse. Could have really been worse on my part. So yeah, this is, I guess, what some of these books look like in action. As I said, keep in mind, I'm not a very good Blade Dancer, so obviously people who know what they're doing can do much better with these skill books. But this was just to showcase them in, like, as a more normal environment, not just testing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and learned something about it, and as I said, if there's something I missed or something, I still have the books for a while, so feel free to let me know. And I will provide or cover a follow-up in case I missed something very dramatically or very important. So other than that, thank you guys for sticking around. And as always, see you guys next time.